intro about myself. I'm Mike Shane. I'm one of the organizers of the first ever LBS Hackathon. And before coming to, I'm currently an MBA student here. And before coming to LBS, I was working at Google in product strategy and user operations in Mountain View. And also I was a startup bootcamp organizer in Silicon Valley. So just a background. Just a quick question. You guys are from LBS? Yes. Raise your hands. Outside of LBS. Wow, fair amount, actually. A good 40 to 50% actually. So that's actually one of the really important points about, one of the benefits about the LBS Hackathon is to bring in diverse talent from outside of LBS, because within LBS, we're really strong within business. We also have some good scientists and engineers and designers. But we're to make a startup in order to get plugged into the London ecosystem, we also need a lot of diversity. So the LBS Hackathon is a really good way to get everybody kind of together in the same room and go through intense development session. So a little bit about what we will be covering today. So first we're going to have Hackathon 101, which is a quick overview about what is Hackathon. And some of you have probably never been through the session before. We have David who will share his experience going through several hackathons. And then we'll have Nikita go through how to win a hackathon. Because he's won quite a few from Hack to TechCrunch. So he's essentially a hackathon champ and a veteran. And we'll have Dan Garland from We Got Coders, who runs a coding academy right outside of London to go over introduction to coding. And then we're going to Tech 101 Part 2, which is product management from Alfonso from Startup Manufacturing Accelerator that's pretty close around here. And then we're going to Startup Law from Roxana. So she'll cover IP, co-founder agreements, and privacy. And then in the afternoon, we'll have product design and MVP creation and business model canvas, which is business model generation, taught by Lean Startup, Circle's Josh Liu. So that's just a quick overview of what's going to go on. It's going to be a pretty tight schedule, so we're going to be moving pretty quickly as well. But feel free to, during break or during lunch, ask us any questions as well. So first, I'll hand it over to David. A little bit about David. He is a current MBA, 2016. And he's currently doing Curate, which is a platform where startup experts are able to share their expertise as well as their resources. David has also previously worked for SoundCloud, Endeavor, TechnoSurf, and Deloitte Consulting. And he's participated and placed top 3 in several hackathons. Please welcome David.
Cool. So this is Kira, by the way. Say hi, Kira. This is her first hackathon. I'll just load up this. Hopefully she doesn't see. So like Sheng said, I participated in maybe like 5 or 6 hackathons over the time that I was mostly at LBS. And I'll tell you a little bit about a couple of stories. I don't know how many people have actually done a hackathon before. Yeah, so fair amount. And it's an interesting experience for a number of reasons. And I wanted to sort of get an indication from all of you, like, what are you guys expecting just to get from this experience? Anyone? Meet people. Great. What else? I'm glad that's one of the top things. It's one of the things that I didn't expect.
Learn more about coding and how to communicate better with engineers and designers.
People. So engineers, like engineering speak?
Yeah.
What else? Yeah.
We have a different point of view regarding your idea.
Yeah. So ideation, I guess.
She's keeping you guys awake.
Product management. What do you want? What else?
Possible collaboration, but I guess that's meeting people.
Collaboration. Okay. All right, that's and I think the biggest, sort of the bigger thing that I would say is the people point. It's something that I didn't sort of consider as much, or you do consider it, but then you get kind of sucked into the whole hackathon experience, which is really easy to do. And so you get really consumed within your team, you get really consumed within sort of the product and the idea that you're building, that you forget that you're mostly here just to meet other people. And so that's one of the major sort of things that I wish I would have done, at least would have done better, is to like get out and meet people with other teams, because you tend to like get consumed inside your own microcosm. So that's one of the things that I wish I did a little better. So my stories with hackathons, the first one that I did was this thing called Startup Bus. And so you get, essentially it was like a week-a-thon thing, so not really a weekend thing. And I don't know if anybody's heard about it, but basically you get on a bus and you build a startup. We went from here all the way to Vienna. And so you'd stop at like Google, you stopped at Wyra, you stopped at a couple different accelerators. And so then there were like phases at every point, and then you got to present. The more successful teams got to present at the Pioneers Festival in Vienna. So we were the third team on that one. It was like, I don't know, 170 teams, something like that. And we got to present to like thousands of people. So it was a pretty cool experience. And I'm still in touch with a lot of the people that I met there. And I was pretty lucky. I was in a team with a couple of guys who had previously done Y Combinator and a couple other things. So you're just like, it was a really good environment that kind of got me a little bit addicted to the whole hackathon thing. So I started going to a number of them, including one of my friends. He actually started this thing called Major League Hacking, which is a student hackathon, or it's a league for student hackathons, and so he goes all over the UK and the US and just does hackathons. So that was my first one. What we did there was we built it was a to-do application that that would get things done for you. So I don't know if anybody heard of this thing called Magic. You basically like text a number, whatever you want, and that thing, or the people in the back end sort of get what you want. So that was kind of the idea. And the thing that I wish that I had done more during that experience was, I think, focus a little bit less on the product. And I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, because people are like, oh, you're at a hackathon, you should, build something, and that's true in one sense. But I think in another sense, it's a lot more about sort of the validation aspect than it is about what you actually build. So that's one thing that I learned on that one. One of my other favorite ones was Seed Hack. And Seed Hack was the hackathon organized by Bootcamp. It was one on content. And so the idea there, just in brief, was like if there was a really easy way that we can facilitate communication via images, so not like taking your own profile pic or selfie or anything like that. But, if you have something that you want to communicate, you just like quickly search for an image and paste it over your email, and send it through. So that was the idea. And there, it was more a great experience because I actually met one of my current co-founders, who's working on this single idea for me. So again, just more about meeting people than it is about working during the weekend, the weekend itself. And so we're great friends. We actually worked on a couple different ideas, and he's a full stack back-end engineer. And so it was just great to sort of establish that concept, work on something like this. Somebody test the water, sort of see if this is someone that I would want to work with in the future. And it turned out to be the case. So I was pretty lucky there. And then the third one that I actually did recently was a startup weekend one. And there is where actually this Curate idea came about. And I'll show you quickly sort of what it is. And what we did, what we did during the week. So for this one, we won, I think it was like third place. Thanks. And as you can see, sort of one of the things that I learned and got me started with all these hackathon things is essentially this is it's a curated list of like resources and tools for for startups and people working there. And by participating in these hackathons and doing things like that, I don't know if you can see, is sort of how I met a lot of these people as well. And so you see people like Steve Blank that I just emailed and kind of got on there, or the Founder Institute or Startup Weekend itself. And what it does is these people are actually using this tool to curate startup resources and content. Internet collaborates. Well, in a second, you'll see a couple of different lists of startup tools and resources, including things from like developer tools, design tools. Here we go. And so essentially it just gives you one sort of curated, and this is just where we've been working on this for about a month, so not very long. Again, it's all about sort of, we built the bare bones structures of this during the weekend actually, and then just kind of iterated and kept building on it. And so one of the things that I wouldn't discount is the possibility of actually continue to work on your team. And though one of the other things that you get from these is that it's very hard. It's very nice to have a weekend where you get to like focus on something and work with someone on a project. But on the other side of things, like real life kind of just takes over, and it's really hard to keep everybody motivated and going on an idea. So I think just from my own personal sort of hackathon experiences, sort of the things that I recommend or that I would have done differently, is one, like, don't focus a lot on like building a product during the weekend. Focus on like trying to get validation, focus on like ideation. I'd say during the actual weekend, like no matter if you have an idea or not, or like I guess anybody can think of an idea, pitch your idea, right? So like don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, go out there, pitch the idea, see what happens because you never know. So a lot of like I went to the TechCrunch Disrupt hackathon and I didn't even pitch. It was one of my first ones and I was just kind of shy. I didn't want to push the idea, and I ended up working on another one. Which ended up being great, but that's something I would encourage everybody to do. And then if people end up working on your idea, I'd say like that's great, but don't protect it. Don't feel like you have to be like the CEO sort of the group, because I've seen that happen a couple times as well, where people feel like it's their idea and they should be leading it and doing everything about it. And so it's more about the team, it's more about collaborating, it's more about coming up with different ideas. And then the last thing, I think it's like somebody said, I think it's all about sort of the people and the ideation. So I think the team is way more important than the idea in itself. And this is what I've seen at most hackathons, is the people with the strongest, more diverse team is the one that usually wins, no matter what the idea was, to be honest. So, you know, when everybody pitches, try to gravitate towards people that you like, towards people that you think you'll work well together with, because those are the teams that I usually see wins regardless of what idea they work on. Because it's kind of more about how do you approach it than it is about what you're actually working on. I think that's been true in my experience. And then the last thing is it is all about sort of being open to meeting people and working with other people. So I encourage everybody to do that. Yeah, I guess that's it. Cool. Awesome.